Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We are here for episode 2 of the Knicks Round 1 playoff breakdown series, ladies and gentlemen. And today, we're going to focus heavy on defending the pick and roll. Because that's one area, ladies and gentlemen, that I am truly afraid of when playing against the Atlanta Hawks. That pick and roll. That pick and roll can be deadly. Then we're going to talk about some defensive rebounding and how we can ensure and make sure that we do everything that we need to do on the boards to win this series against the Atlanta Hawks, ladies and gentlemen. We're just a couple of days away. The playoff schedule, the Knicks schedule, has been announced. We're going to take a look at it. Let's go ahead and let's get busy. Let's get down and dirty. And whatever else we need to talk about with this playoff series, we're going to talk about it today as well. All right. Obviously, the phone lines are going to be available, so you can feel free to call in. And if I don't get to you right away, don't get frustrated, because there's a lot of stuff to get to all the time. And I'll make sure that I get to you, all right? Number is 516-405-2246. You can see it at the top of your screen. And you're going to be able to see it on the next screen when I bring my boy Kev over and we talk about this playoff schedule. Then we're going to get into a few other things before we break down this pick and roll defense and defensive rebounding and all that good stuff. So let's get with it. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat joining us today. Had a good conversation. You need to go check out the entertainer, man. It was me, the entertainer. It was CK2K, JD. Who was breaking it down. It's a dope show. You need to go check it out. Hector Gaston, big shout out to you. The Prince, I ain't seen you in a while, man. Hope things going good for you. Big shout out to you, Prince, NZ Richie, Jermaine Royster, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that's watching on your TV or listening or doing whatever you're doing. Big shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I know there's a lot of people out there that's, watching the playing tournament, stuff like that, and be on there too, man. So let's go ahead and get this going. My man Kev is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a look at this schedule. All right, let's take a look at the schedule here. Kev, before I even get to the schedule, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, man, salute to the chat. Salute to you, Sim, and future people that are coming on the panel, because I know they'll be straggling along. It's great to be the first one on here. But yeah, man, let's caught your show today. It was really cool. Y'all had some great points. It's great when you have four basketball minds, thinking together, and coming up with a clear perception of what you think, will happen, what will happen. So, yeah, your show was, that show was kicking today. But yeah, man, let's just get it. Let's just get this, man. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. We got 2 more days before the ball goes up for us.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. 2 more days. I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm so glad the game is at 7 p.m. Because, I have basketball games on Saturdays. And I was worried that I wasn't going to be, I was going to have to miss the game and all of this. And I haven't checked my tournament schedule yet. But hopefully, tournament schedule is going to be kind to me and allow me to see the first game. And you can see the schedule on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you can see the schedule there. Game 1 is on Sunday at 7 p.m. on TNT. Okay? Sunday, 7 p.m. on TNT. And then you got Game 2. It's on the 26th. See, originally I thought Game 2 was going to be on Tuesday, but it's actually on Wednesday the 26th at 7:30 p.m. on TNT. Then you got Game 3. It's May 28th, which is a Friday. That's at 7 p.m. on ESPN. And then game number 4 is on May 30th at 1 p.m. It just so happens on that weekend, I'm going to be hosting a birthday party at my house. So, I don't know. Listen, 1 p.m. Listen, I'm like, listen. I don't care what's going on.
Hey,
Yo,
man,
you hear
hey,
me?
Sim, I got to tell you this short story. So back in '99, when we were playing the Miami Heat, it came down to the buzzer because I didn't know if we were going to win that series or not, and luckily we did. And then the next series, we swept those Atlanta Hawks when Lenny Wilkins was coaching. Game 1 of Indiana was on my wedding day.
Woo. Let me tell you something. What you do? How'd you handle it? How'd you handle it? Did you delay the wedding?
Well, no, I did not. But after the ceremony, because we had it at a church, and then, of course, we had it at a reception hall. After the ceremony, all the brothers went to their cars to get to the reception to see the to watch the game, because you still have a little bit of time before all the festivities start. But they all jumped in their cars and went to the reception site. They said, "Congratulations, Kev," and then just left everything. So 50%, I could say this, years later, 50%, I was thinking about my marriage, my wedding day, and the other 50% was like, we gotta win game 1 in order to have a chance.
See, there you go. See, Kev, you're better than me, and listen, my wife knows this already. You're better than me though, Kev, because I would have been right at. We would have been right at the altar, and I would have looked over and said, "Yo, can we get this going? Because the game is about to start, and I can't miss it." My wife probably would have smacked me, but I would have dealt with the smack. I would have dealt with the smack that day. I'd have dealt with it.
Man, it was crazy, man. It was crazy because I didn't expect us to go on that run the way we did, because I thought Indiana was at that time a better team than us, and they just that was a magical time. That was a real magical time and everything.
Yeah,
and I
no
thought
doubt about it.
We had a cruise, and I didn't think the game was going to be on, showing during the cruise, because you're out, out to see it, everything, and they had it on there. I was like, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, there are certain times and certain things in life where you just got to put your foot down, and maybe this is one of them. Like, look, I'm catching the Knicks game, so no matter what we doing, I'm finding a way to catch this Knicks game. You bet,
Exactly.
Certain times you just gotta do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But absolutely.
Yeah, the Knicks schedule, man. We'll see if it goes to a game 5 and a game 6. I tend to think that it will. I think it's at least going to game 6. I think the Knicks are going to win in 6. I believe that we can win in Atlanta with as many Knicks fans that are in Atlanta. I definitely think that we can win there. But it's not going to be easy. There's a lot that we've got to do to get through this series. This team, they have the ability to score the basketball, and it scares me. It really does. I talked about it weeks ago when we were looking at the possibilities of who we might play, right? And when I looked at the Hawks, I said, man, the Hawks scare me. Probably the best matchup for the Knicks, but they scare me. It's just no doubt about it. They scare me with their ability to score the basketball and the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the floor. And in particular, that pick and roll, which we're going to discuss today. And Clint Capella's offensive rebounding. Those things really do concern me. And we had a great discussion today about Clint Capella and his offensive rebounding on the Entertainers Show. But that's the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. That is the schedule. You see it on your screen. I'm pretty sure you have it anyway. Games 5, 6, games 5, 6, and 7 would be June 2nd, June 4th, and June 6th. There's a possibility that I could be in a tournament game June 6th on game 7. So that game needs to be at night. They better not play around with that, because they better not play around with that. I'll have to call the tournament director and say, listen, you can't schedule me at this time. I'm sorry. because I'm gonna let him know. I'm definitely gonna let him know. You know, a couple, some news that came out today from the NBA about, NBA awards. You have the MVP and the MIP, Most Improved Player, finalists. So for the MVP finalists, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Steph Curry. And for the Most Improved Player finalist, Jeremiah Grant, guy over there with the Nuggets, and Julius Randle.
It should be a runaway.
It should be a runaway. It should be a runaway. It should be a runaway. We'll see what happens. But it should be a runaway. For the Six-Man Award.
Yep.
Okay, for the Kia Six-Man Award, the finalists are Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, Joe Ingles, and of course, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is a finalist for the Six-Man of the Year award. Yes. Derrick Rose is a finalist. So I'd love to see Julius Randle get Most Improved and Derrick Rose get the Six-Man of the Year award. That would be beautiful. I don't know if the NBA is going to allow that to happen, or the voters, whoever, is voting for these winners, is going to allow that to happen for the Knicks to run away with 2 awards. But I would love to see that happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Steph. Do you think the NBA will let the Knicks run away with 2 awards?
3, because I still think Randall gonna get what is that? All NBA?
All NBA.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I think he'll be on the All NBA. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's who's voting them. Is this the media or the coaches?
I think it's the
I
media.
think it's both. Or media.
Oh.
I think it's the media.
If it's the media, we get 1. Randall.
Right.
If
it's the media, we get 1.
If it's the media, it's going to be 1. If it's the coaches, we got a chance to get both.
Yeah, I think
the coaches are less biased.
Yeah, I think Clarkson's got that. We'll get that Six-Man of the Year. Maybe if we would have had Rose in the beginning of the year, we might have had,
But that proves his case, though, where we were after he came, right?
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. G-Man, what do you think, man?
Hey, politics always plays a role in these awards. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in your face.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be nice. I swear to God, I was trying to be on my best behavior. I'm not going to succumb to the pressure, so I'm going to give you my thought right now. So, as I was saying before, I was so rudely tapped on my shoulder by the little troll to my left up here. I think that politics plays a role in how these awards are doled out. I think that Randall should be a sure win for the Most Improved. I don't think Rose will get the Six-Man, but I do think that we will get the Executive of the Year award. I don't see how they can not award us that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think those 2 right there, I think we should be a sure win for it. It will have to be some explaining going on to someone if we don't. Julius Randle has to be a sure win for Most Improved. And I don't see any front office that has done as much for a franchise as ours has for what we've accomplished this year.
Hey, G-Man, what did Bernie Mac say? If that doesn't happen, there's going to be some furniture moving.
It's going to be some furniture moving. For sure.
Okay, so let me ask you about this, because I thought, and I guess this was, a rumor or a report from someone who has good intel, I guess. But Tom Thibodeau is a finalist for Coach of the Year. And this was released today, that he's a finalist for Coach of the Year. And I think we all knew that he was going to be in the conversation. I think that he should win it, no doubt about it. So obviously it hasn't been settled upon.
Oh, right? I thought that was announced. No,
I thought.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What they talked about, the
not yet.
Coach
Not
of the
yet.
Year is the one that the coaches voted on. It was Tibbs, it was Monty Williams, and it was one more guy.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Snyder.
So that's not the official one.
No.
That's still, like you're right, Sam. That's still out there, and Tibbs.
Okay.
For that.
Still out there. So Quinn Snyder, Tom Thibodeau, and Monty Williams are the finalists for NBA Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Those are the finalists for NBA Coach of the Year.
And this
But
is what,
I would,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Steph. Go ahead, Steph.
more than executive of the year, I think our leap from last year to this year has a lot to do with Tibbs, because it's really the same roster. We added Noel. Who else we added? I think we added Burke.
Burks.
I mean, you can make it a case for executive as well. But I just thought that Tibbs had so much to do with just bringing this roster together.
Yeah.
And holding it together.
But the reason why I say executive, because I think the most important thing that they did was bringing Rose here. I don't know. I honestly don't know if we would be in a position now if Rose wasn't with us.
I would beg to differ just a little bit, Kev. I would say the most impressive thing that our front office did was the move they did not make.
Right.
Instead of going out and mortgaging our future on, that shiny new toy, they chose to stand pat. And the D Rose move was definitely the move of the year for us.
Yes.
And then we were able to solidify future moves by not making a rash decision to go out and get what could be a temporary. We didn't try to put a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound.
Well, they didn't listen to us. How we were clamoring for a move to be made, and they said, no, we're going to stand.
I think they were trying. I think they were trying. To make smart moves, and probably nothing happened that they felt would be good enough for this year and the season going forward. I don't think they just stood on the sidelines.
I think that the asking price for whatever move they were trying to make was just too high, and they didn't want to get taken advantage of like we normally do. Back in the day, we make decisions just regardless of whatever it is, whatever you ask me for, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely think that they were trying to make moves, but they didn't find anything. They drew a line in the sand and said we're not gonna give up this or that, and they stuck to it. And I think you deserve kudos for that as well as the moves you do make. Like Jermaine said, if you didn't make moves and you trusted your roster because there wasn't something out there that you thought was really going to elevate you, then I think you deserve kudos for that as well. But this, a lot of this roster, is from last season.
Yeah.
Elfrid Payton, Julius Randle, Reggie Bullock, R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, right? Frank Ntilikina. Those guys been, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. I mean, they've been here since before last year. Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been here for a little while. So I don't know. I don't know if they necessarily deserve executive team of the year or executive of the year or whatever. But there's a chance that they can get there. I do agree that I think a lot of it is Tibbs. And if Tibbs didn't do the job that he did, people could be looking at him and saying this is a terrible front office.
But they get credit for hiring Tibbs, though.
Yeah,
so
they get credit. Yeah. You're right about that. They get credit for hiring Tibbs. Right.
But the reason why I say Rose, is there a guarantee that if they didn't bring Rose on, that we would have won as many games as we did this year?
No, but let me. Was that a front office move or a Tibbs move? Tibbs, I think,
the front office has to do it.
But I think Tibbs said, "Go get me Derrick Rose, and I want Taj Gibson."
Yep. He wanted somebody that could execute his system on the floor. That knew.
Right, but the executive did that. Leon Rose did that.
Yeah, I know.
He did, but I think the Sam's point, I think it was at Tibbs' behest, though. I think Tibbs went to him, just like Randall. It was reported when Randall had the interview with Tibbs. He sat down and Tibbs point blank asked him, "Hey, what is it that you need in order for us to be successful?" And Randall told him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of matriculated into Tibbs going to the front office and say, "Hey, these two guys right here, I don't care what you got to do, go get them." And I think that's how that all transpired.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. All right, so let me ask you: do you think Brooklyn should get it?
Brooklyn should get what?
Executive of the year. Do you think Brooklyn
Absolutely
should get it?
not. No.
Okay, all right.
They pulled that Harden trade. They traded for Harden.
They did, but I think when you look at the cost of what it took Brooklyn to get the pieces they got, it totally, I mean, it way overreaches from what we had to give up to get Rose and Todd.
Okay, I'll give you two more.
Well, of course, because it was much better.
It's who it was. But I mean, I guess it just all depends on how you look at the contribution to the front office.
I'll give you two more. Phoenix.
I think it all boils. So we will be having a different conversation if the teams did not have the records they have right now, right? So front offices go out and make moves all the time, but whether or not those moves manifest themselves to wins on the court and propel the teams forward, that's a whole different story. So, at the beginning of the season, no one saw Phoenix being the team that they are right now.
Right, and I think that's more to what for CP getting there than Monty.
Well, I would beg to differ. Now, so Chris Paul is a dynamic basketball player. He is a floor general for all intents and purposes. Right. But Chris Paul does not coach the basketball team, right?
So he does not. Well, I beg to differ with that because you could say that he's a coach on the floor as well.
So this is what Chris Paul does. Chris Paul gets the game plan from the coach, and he reinforces that game plan on the floor. He reminds people when you're on the floor what it is you're supposed to do based on what the coach told us in the film room or at practice or during the pregame speech. He's that person. He's that person that reinforces the coach's game plan. He doesn't come up with a game plan. That's not his job. But his job is to make sure that everyone on the floor is executing the game plan that the coach laid out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And listen, I'm gonna tell you a guy that could very well get Coach of the Year that, people may maybe look upside down at. Sam Presti from OKC. I think he did a wonderful. Do you know how many draft picks they have over the next few years?
You mean executive? You mean executive?
Executive, not coach. I'm sorry.
Coach.
Yeah. Executive. My bad. Executive. I should have said executive. I didn't mean to send you into a heart attack, but
do you know?
Yeah. I'm executive of the year. I'm sorry about that. But Sam Presti, he did a good job of saying, you know what? We're going to take and look what he did in the draft, accumulating draft picks. It is ridiculous the amount of draft picks they have. You know what I'm saying? It is ridiculous. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting race as well. Eddie, I don't know if you got sound in the background or anything like that. What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm in the office today, so I put it on mute just in case there was any sound in the background. I didn't want to disturb anybody. I'm doing good. How's everybody doing in the panel? Kevin?
Good. Doing great, man. Doing great, bro.
Simeon, just waiting on Sunday for this game. It feels like forever.
Yeah, man.
Thankfully, we have these playing tournament games, that keep us waiting for our games. But I got to be completely honest with you, Sim, man. I've always been a little worried, and I saw the other day that you put up the starting lineups and the bench. We've been very high on our bench the whole year, and we should be because they played very well. But when I saw the bench of Atlanta with Lou Williams, with Onyeka Kongwu, with there's plenty of names. Danilo Gallinari coming off the bench for them. Man, I was taken aback, and I was really, I was like, man, we got to play very well if we're gonna beat this team. I just hope that our bench comes with it. That Derrick Rose is healthy enough to come and play his game, and that we're clicking on all cylinders. Because I was watching some, people analyzing and stuff, and we do put a lot of weight on Julius Randle, and everybody knows that Julius Randle is our top gun. And it seems just like Atlanta has different ways of scoring. You know, if it's not Trey, it can be Bogdanovich. If it's not Bogdanovich, they have Jason Collins. If not in the bench, they got Gallinari. They got a Lou Williams back there. So, you know, we just got to tread lightly, man. We've been doing it all year. We've been overachieving all year, and I don't see why we shouldn't keep on doing it. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But, you know, I'm just keeping everything in perspective and seeing the players against each other one by one. It's a tough task, man. I mean, it should be. It's a 4-5 matchup. We have the advantage of being a home court advantage. And I don't see this going anything less than 7-game series with us being at home with the advantage of home court. So we just have to take care of business on our floor. And if we do that, we should win this series.
Okay. All right. I definitely agree there. You know, if we take care of and we do what we've got to do at home, you know, we should win the series. It's going to be a tough series. Tough series. Let me get to a couple of super chats here. All right. 23 Blade, thank you for the super chat. He said Leon should get executive of the year. Lowest payroll, good signings, good drafting too. Also signing Tibbs. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely got to be in the running for it. Definitely got to be in the running for it. Josh, a.k.a. Uncle Fulio, he said Scott Perry is a hero. He was lucky to survive the old regime, and it seems like we are keeping him. He deserves to be president of basketball operations somewhere. You know, he's an unsung hero. I'll say that. I think he is an unsung hero because obviously he made some mistakes, but he also made some moves that are helping the Knicks right now as we speak. And listen, they make a good team. When the Knicks brought in Leon Rose, everybody thought Scott Perry was going to be axed. I never thought so. I always felt like he was liked in the organization. He was the level-minded one. You know what I mean? And that he would stick around. And he's the kind of guy that can work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? The kind of guy that can work with anybody. And I think it would be smart for the Knicks to keep him around. He will. One of these days, he's going to be the president of basketball operations somewhere. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's not forget, at the trading deadline last year, Steve Mills was all ready to give Morris I forget what kind of contract they was going to make to him, and they were going to try and get Rozier as well. And Perry was like, no, let's not do that. Let's trade him, get an asset, get some assets for him because everybody wants him. And he literally had to go to James Dolan to say, yo, this ain't gonna work. You know what he's trying to do? And then I think that was the last straw for Steve Mills and everything. And it's good that Perry is still with us.
Yeah. And before we get to start, breaking down this pick and roll play, Luka Vildoza, he's coming to New York. Right? He should be here tomorrow, I guess. I don't think it means that he's going to get any playoff time, playing basketball, I don't think he's going to play in the playoffs. But, just to have him here, finally get in with the team, when they do get a chance to work, over the summer, they're going to, and Tip said it before, it's a summer thing, right? They're going to work with him over the summer, get him ready for next season. But he's going to be here. And if anything goes real crazy, let's say the Knicks are blowing out the Atlanta Hawks or they're getting blown out, you might see him play.
That's what I was getting at. Exactly. That's where I was getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Or if the Knicks are somehow down like 3-0 and Tom Thibodeau was like, hey, let's do something. Let's try anything. Then maybe they throw him out there to see if he gives a spark. But I wouldn't expect him to play. He'll be with the team. He'll get a chance to experience the playoffs. Hopefully it sends some juices flowing through his body. And we'll look forward to seeing him maybe in the summer league and into next season. You know what I mean? Steph, any thoughts on Luka Vildoza? And do you think he plays at all in the playoffs?
I don't think so, Sam. I even think if we down 3-0 in the series, I still don't think Tim Springer man. I still think Tim's gonna be coaching like we still in the game. So I don't think he's gonna deviate too much. It's good that he's here. Does he get to practice?
Yeah, I think he gets to practice.
Yes, indeed.
He does?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah, he gets to practice. So that's good. He'll be able to practice, see how we do things. He'll be here for the summer, and he'll be ready for next year. I don't think we see him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't think we see him. Does anybody think we see him? Eddie, G-Man, either one of you think we see him at all in the playoffs?
I don't think there's a need for him to be playing on our playoff roster unless terrible injuries happen, knock on wood, but there's no reason for him to be there. It's just great experience for him to see NBA playoff basketball. It's going to be great experience if he does practice, to practice with the guys, to get some camaraderie with the guys, to see how he interacts with everybody. It's just like a head start on next year. That's all I'm thinking that it is,
Yeah.
And he's a very smart guy. You never know that he can probably say a few things to the guys, to the young kids in the huddle that can help him, because he's a seasoned player. He's a rookie in NBA terms, but he's been playing professionally for a while. So I don't mind him giving Ntilikina some pointers, quickly saying, hey, you see this or that, or every little bit helps.
Yeah.
But as it's playing on the court, I don't see that happening.
I was on record as saying at one point, because I thought he would be here earlier before we reached the playoffs, that he would get some burn. But I think that to Eddie's point, and like everybody else said on the panel, Tibbs is a creature of habit, right? And he's not going to deviate too far from what he's used to. He's not comfortable doing that. So, and to Eddie's point, unless something, and God forbid, unless something dire happens, I don't see him seeing the floor during the playoffs.
Or unless he does something in practice that coach is like, ooh, might have to look at this a little bit. But yeah, I'm with y'all.
I don't even think that, to be honest with you, because although he could come in and do some things, you're like, oh wow, this is really, really good. What he's doing, he can do this, that, and the third. You still have to fit him in, and his tendencies, you still have to fit him into the team. Players have to learn his tendencies, and he has to learn other players' tendencies. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's not just that easy. That's why a lot of times, sometimes players come into a team and it hits off right away. A lot of times it doesn't, because you gotta learn you gotta learn your teammates' tendencies. So
I think to that point, Sam, I think Rose kind of spoke to that in an underhanded manner when he was interviewed, and he kept repeating and he kept kind of emphasizing that the team, he was thankful that the team allowed him to come in and play the Derrick Rose style of ball. He didn't just come in and say, well, I'm just going to take over and you guys going to have to get on my schedule and play like I play until, they got that kind of cohesion. And there was an understanding that, what we're doing out here is for the greater good. And he got the buy-in from the team. And that takes a while. It didn't happen overnight.
Right. So,
and the younger players are feeding off of that too. Younger players are feeding off of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. So I'm looking forward to seeing him over the summer and into next year. Big shout out to JD Sports Talk again. He was on the show with me, CK, and the Entertainer today. We had a great time. Make sure you go check that out. He said, "What are your thoughts on the fans announcement? 15,000 fans at the Garden was sold out. 15,000 fans at the Garden. Now, will they factor into the series? Yes, they will factor into the series.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. The Mothership Connection will be
in Atlanta too.
In Atlanta too. Yep.
And exactly.
We'll be landing. We'll be landing.
Think about it. Think about it. You got Atlanta, a young guard in Trae Young, coming to the Garden, playing in his first playoff series. Now you got 15,000 fans that when the Knicks make a shot, the Garden is going to explode. When you get in a tight moment and something happens, and it can rattle somebody. And he's never been in a situation like that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's definitely, especially this year, when there has not been a lot of fans in stadiums.
Yeah.
This year, it can really come into play because, and this is all over the league, not just at the Garden. The Garden may have 15,000 people. Atlanta may have 6. Right? I don't know how many they're allowing. I'm just saying, if your team is allowed to have 15,000, but the opposing team is only allowed to have 6,000, that makes a big difference. You know what I mean? When that makes a big difference. So it's going to be.
The crazy part about.
Go ahead, G.
I was just going to say the crazy part about. That Atlanta game is you got just as many Knicks fans in Atlanta as in New York.
Yes, sir.
So, that could essentially turn into another home court advantage for us.
Exactly.
The Knicks fans going to be down there in droves. Lawrence Tears got a group going down on Memorial Day weekend to see the game and kind of do a live broadcast from there. So you got people that don't even live in Atlanta that's planning on making that trip. If my daughter wasn't graduating that week, I'll be down there too.
Or if that wasn't my wedding anniversary weekend.
You better take care of that. I was just speaking with Freezy about that.
Is information true about Brooklyn not being able to sell out the arena either, or is that fugazi, or is that are there
No, I think that's real.
That's real.
That's real.
That's real because Harden got a advertisement, an announcement on Twitter saying that he's willing to cover half the ticket price.
Oh,
for the people that comes in and buys tickets for playoff games. And the Knicks, to Sam's point, initially the count was 13,000. So Dolan went in and upped the count to 15,000, and the tickets were sold out in the first 20 minutes.
So
that's crazy.
So they can have the same amount of people in their stadium, right?
Yeah,
as we do.
If they choose to. So the attendance for the stadium is up to the ownership, right? So the state will tell you how many people per capita you're allowed by percentage to have in these arenas. And it's up to the ownership of the venue to say how many people actually come in there.
And you would suspect that both of these guys want to compete against each other. So if Dolan's going to do it, that I don't know who the ownership for the Brooklyn is, but you would suspect, you would suspect that he wants to try and do the same thing. So, but Eddie, nobody. I think Brooklyn is starting to understand how big of a Knicks town this is, pretty much.
I don't really think the players care. They're on a totally different mission than we are. And I don't really think they care if anybody comes to the stadium, to be honest with you.
You think so?
I think
they understand the importance of the
let me put it to you this way. I think that we're caring a little bit more about everybody wants to come into our games and our stuff than they are of them selling out the arena. Because they're on a different mission than we are. Of course everybody wants to win a chip, but they're supposed to be at that level. They're supposed to go for a chip this year. We're not. If we bow out in the first round, everybody's going to clap and stand and say it's a successful season. But if they bow out in the first round, it's one of the worst debacles in
absolutely.
In any
and
sport.
I'll be there for it too.
So
I'll be there for it too.
But I think that gives them an edge, though.
I'm just not that type of person to boast about, to be braggadocious and stuff like that. My mind just thinks about what's the real picture at hand. You know what I'm saying? And I know for them, the real thing at hand is to win a championship, not how many people.
But the fans are a part of that, though.
Yeah.
If they don't have a home court advantage with the other team coming in, like if your fan, I mean, look at us. We having 15,000 in the stands gives us an advantage. I'm sure they want that as well.
Yeah. They beg it.
No, I completely agree.
They beg it.
It's not about competing with them. It's about like
that having fans is not better. Of course it is. But we were playing in LA and there were Knicks fans in LA, saying MVP chance to Julius, and we didn't win that game. So, it's I'm just saying about the braggadocious about them not being able to sell out the arena and all Knicks fans getting worried about something else that's not important. That's
right. You're talking about our fans versus their fans. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the Nets would want an arena full of fans. That's going to help give them a home court advantage when another team comes in. Otherwise, they don't have a six man. Maybe, and you know what? They talented enough. Maybe they don't need it.
Right.
Maybe they don't need it.
But think about this. If we were to somehow get through this series, and then somehow get through the Philly series, and we have to play Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference Finals, I guarantee you that Brooklyn game is going to have more fans of Knicks fans than it will.
No doubt about that. I mean, I think
every game will be Knicks fans.
Yeah, I definitely think that selling out the arena is important. Playing in front of fans is important. Now, I don't know how much with James Harden, what it was doing, was it, did it have to do with people being vaccinated? Because he said, all the vaccinated seats, we will, I'll cut the cost. I'll pay 50% of the cost on all of the vaccinated seats. So, I don't know how much it had to do with that or just the fact that they needed to get fans in the arena. But we will find out. We will find out. Let's go ahead and let's get into this, start breaking down this pick and roll thing, because I think this is really important. And, for the Knicks, stopping this pick and roll, I think, is key to this playoff series. I really do. I think it's a big key to the playoff series and whether or not the Knicks can beat the Atlanta Hawks. Huge key. All right, so I want to take a look at, both of these clips that I'm going to show. These are clips from the previous game that we played against the Atlanta Hawks. All right, this was, a few weeks ago when we played them at home. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. You guys should be able to see this as well. All right. Let's go ahead and let me get this up here. All right, so this was a play actually that Wally broke down on MSG and probably lost everybody that was watching, for real. All right, let's see if the connection. Okay, it looks like we got the connection back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. I don't know. OBS shut down on me. OBS shut down on me. So we're back in effect, and we're going to break down this pick and roll. So what we're looking at here right now is this is a clip from the previous game that we played the Atlanta Hawks. All right, and we're going to watch Wally Zerbiak actually broke this down on MSG the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm jealous because he broke it down first, and he had perfect points. But I want to break it down again and take a look at it. Right, there's two ways that we're going to see a screen and roll happen, with Clint Capella being the recipient. All right, so let me go ahead and get this started, and you see Trae Young with the ball, guarded by Elfrid Payton, and you see Trae Young guarded by Elfrid Payton, and then you got Clint Capella here running the center of the floor. All right, at this point, 61-60 New York Knicks. All right, so let me go ahead and play this forward, and I'm going to stop it where I need it to be stopped. All right, so I'm going to bring this forward. I'm going to stop it here. Boom. All right. So you can see here, I want to go just a little bit more. Actually, I want to rewind this now. See if I can get back to exactly where I want to be. I want to put it right here. So you see Clint Capella, he doesn't really make contact with Elfrid Payton on his screen at all. He's going to slip the screen. He's going to slip the screen and pop out this way. Not fully out this way. I'm sorry. He's going to slip the screen and start coming down this way. All right. And you see already, because the screen is here, Elfrid Payton is going to be a step behind Trae Young. But when you look at the Knicks, they're in really good position already at this point. Good position. You see Julius Randle, he can see the ball. He's in good, has good space with John Collins here. Reggie Bullock can see the ball. He has, I think, Bogdanovich over here. RJ Barrett. Herter is over here. This is good spacing by the New York Knicks. Good defensive positioning right here. All right, so now I'm going to bring this forward just a little bit. And let's bring it forward. All right. So now you see here, you see where we are here. Right? Now Elfrid Payton is a little behind Trae Young. Trae Young is holding him off with his elbow. All right. These guys are still in good position here. Julius Randle can spy the basketball. He can also spy John Collins. Let's go forward. All right. Still good position, but we're about to make a fatal mistake. A fatal mistake. Good position here. And if we stay in this position here, Nerlens Noel stays with Clint Capella, I think we get a stop on this play because it probably gets kicked out here. Because everybody else is in good defensive position. I'm going to bring it forward. But what happens? You see Nerlens Noel. He stabs. He takes this stab at Trae Young. And once he took that stab at Trae, and it wasn't needed. That's the whole thing. That stab wasn't needed at all because we already had him defended well. Julius Randle can get out to John Collins here.
So Sam, let me ask you. Is this all right? So I see Alfred behind Trae Young. Should he have stopped him? Should he have been positioned in front of him?
Well, that would have been great.
Well, I mean, that would have been great, but Alfred is actually in decent position because he had to come off the screen. Remember, once you get that screen in front of you, it's hard to get back in front of the person coming off with the basketball, especially someone who was quick and slick as Trae Young. That's why you need help to defend it. This stab there, that stab right there by Nerlens Noel is really what set this off. Because once he took that stab, Trae Young now knows that Clint Capella is going to have this lane to the basket. Clint Capella, there's no way that Nerlens Noel is going to be able to get back to him in time. Now, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett could maybe try to hedge this off, but then Trae Young would notice that as well and kick the ball out here for a wide open three, and this guy can knock down the three. Right, this is a big problem with defending the Hawks. And, of course, you see as we move forward, they get the wide open dunk. Right, wide open dunk. And it all happened off of this stab right there. And this is what someone like Trae Young is very good at doing.
Okay, right? So if I'm understanding you, you're saying that what's name shouldn't have moved then, right? He shouldn't have took the stab.
He shouldn't have.
No,
he shouldn't have. What I'm saying is that Nerlens, instead of taking this stab at Trae Young, I don't know why he took the stab at Trae Young. Instead of taking the stab, he should have stayed with Clint Capella because Trae Young was defended. You have Julius Randle here. You have Elfrid Payton, who, if Nerlens Noel stays here, Julius Randle maybe shifts a little bit, but Payton should be able to get back in front of Trae Young. And if he kicks the ball here, which is really the only place he can kick it, Julius Randle is in good enough position to get back and defend John Collins.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not blaming Nerlens Noel what I'm saying is that little things like that, a guard like Trae Young will recognize. And when he recognizes those little things, he'll make you pay. You know what I'm saying? So, we've got to really be disciplined and stay home now when it's necessary, because they can be dangerous. They had the floor spread out so well, and Trae Young, he knows where Herter is, he knows where Bogdanovich is, and he's watching Randall, RJ, Reggie, Randall. He's watching everyone. He can see all 4 of these players. He knows what they're doing, and he's waiting for the defense to slip up so he can find the open player.
And just to interject a little bit, I would love for this whole year coming up in the summer that they do a lot of charging drills, learn how to take charges, because to me that's very important when you're playing defense, and those charges can deflate a team. If RJ would learn how to take a charge there on Capella as well, when Capella's rolling to the basket, I mean, you can kill that play right there too. Especially if Nerlens is very handsy, so he likes to go and make those digs on defense. He gets a lot of steals. I think it just comes natural. But Again, you're right. If he just stays with his hands up, we're talking about probably a Trae Young layup where he can probably put his hands up and defend it.
Right. It just, that stab. And like I said, I'm not blaming Nerlens Noel, but that stab definitely let Trae Young know where he can go with the basketball. Now let's take a look at this next play here, because here, it's another type of screen and roll that they do. It's basically a double screen, and then you see Clint Capella slip the screen. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to kind of move it forward just a little bit. Then I'll stop it where I need it to be stopped. All right, so you see you got Trae Young with the ball. It's guarded by Derrick Rose. And you see John Collins right now. John Collins is here getting ready to come up and set the screen on Derrick Rose. And because this screen is set so high, when you have screens set this high out, it becomes really difficult for the defender to catch up. Right? Because now there's a lot of real estate for that guard with the ball to add some explosion into his dribble.
Is that Obi that's sticking Collins?
That's Obi.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Obi that's sticking Collins. All right, so, let's take a look. I'm going to move this along just a little bit. All right, you see John Collins set the screen. Boom. Now, he did make contact. John Collins made contact with Derrick Rose on this screen, which slows Derrick Rose down even more. And now, you got Trae Young coming off. And what's he doing? Right? All right. In his vision, he can see who's over here. Right? You have Clint Capella, who's getting ready to come set a screen on Obi. Right? So he's going to be watching what Clint Capella's doing, and he's seeing what's here, and he's going to watch what John Collins does in his peripheral vision. Right? So now he knows his options right off the bat. Because such a good screen being set gives him the opportunity in this open space right here to take a split second and say, I got boom, boom, and boom. Let me see what happens now. All right. Now, let me go ahead and move this along just a little bit. And you'll see Clint Capella didn't fully set the screen. Why? Because Trae Young, he got in open space and he's decided to turn on the Jets. And this is him putting pressure. He put pressure on the team when he did this. Right? Now you see all of a sudden, all right, Derrick Rose are like, oh, I got to get back. Obi Toppin, Nerlens Noel, I think that is, they're concerned about Trae Young. And you see Emmanuel quickly start to step off his man in the event that Trae Young gets to the cup. He can help out. Right? And there's so much pressure. Obi is saying, I got to get to Trae Young. Look where he's looking. Look at his line of vision. Bam. Look at his line of vision. Bam. His line of vision. Bam. His line of vision. Bam. Right? 4 players cued in on Trae Young because he's putting pressure on these guys because he's attacking. And now you see Clint Capella is about to be in open space all by himself. Right? And it ends up being an open lob. And there you go. You know what I mean? Those 2 things right there, the ability for Trae Young to put pressure on the defense, and then Clint Capella to set those screens, I just think it's really a dangerous thing for the Knicks. And we've got to figure out a way to stop these screen and roll plays because Trae Young is so good at coming off the screen and roll, putting pressure on the defense, and creating for others out of that pick and roll.
So Sim, you being a coach, what do you tell your team in order to conquer that?
Well, one of the things, one of the things is trying to, with Derrick Rose, with Elfrid Payton, with whoever is guarding Trae Young, getting over those screens. Now, I want to bring that back for just a second. Right? And look at some options that a player could have. All right, let me see if I can get it back to where I want it. All right, okay. Now, I got it here, and I think I got it where I want it, so I'm going to bring this back over and take a look at it real quick. Here we go. Okay, look at this space here. All right, again, I put this in so that we can see Trae Young in open space. He's here in open space.
Yeah.
With this screen being so high, and I know you might be afraid. I mean, this screen came all the way out here by the Knicks logo.
Yep.
You might tell Derrick Rose to go under the screen at this point because you have so much space. You might tell him, let's go this way. The problem is, can Trae Young pull it up from here and knock it down?
You've seen him do it.
Because if he goes this way, if Derrick Rose goes this way and Trae Young decides to stop here and pull it, Damian Lillard, he'll knock it down. Steph Curry, he'll knock it down. I'm assuming Trae Young probably has that same kind of range. Right? Now, what we have to be able to do is these 2 guys have to be able to communicate a little bit better. Obi Toppin and Nerlens Noel, right? It's, I guess, it's going to be, every coach is going to have their flavor when you're out this far if you want Derrick Rose to go over or under the screen. All right, I'm going to say continue to have him go over the screen because Trae Young can knock down that shot, right? If he's not hitting it, you might tell him to go under the screen, right? So that because you're so far out from the 3-point line. But if you look here, boom. When you got 2 guys spying, this is where they got to communicate. Either Obi's got to take Trae Young, or Nerlens Noel has to take Trae Young and Obi go get Clint Capella. At this point, in my opinion, Nerlens Noel is in the best position to just slide right here and go get Clint Capella and let Obi have to deal with Trae Young. But the communication has to be there. Right now, they're both spying on Trae Young. Right? They're both spying on Trae Young, and no one's paying attention to Clint Capella. Now, you could have Reggie Bullock step in a little bit deeper and force Trae Young to skip the ball over here to Bogdanovich. I think that's Bogdanovich. Hoping that since he's skipping from this side of the floor to that side of the floor, Reggie Bullock has enough time to recover. All right, but the communication has to be there. And I'm not saying the Knicks playing bad defense. They're playing good defense, but you're going to get caught every once in a while. You're going to get caught. And you can break things down and look at it and say, okay, what did we do in this play? And in this play here, no one communicated to say, you get the ball, I got Clint Capella. Right? Or you can decide, hey, we're just going to switch. We're going to switch everything up and let Obi or Nerlens Noel get out on Trae Young. right? If they just switch everything, the screen comes, we're switching it. Now you got to hope that your big man can stay in front of Trae Young and not get in foul trouble. It's almost a pick your poison because it's a play that works. That's why it's ran so much in basketball, because it is a play that works and it's effective.
But the Knicks have to decide what they're giving up. And I don't think the lob to Capella has to. I mean, I know they have good three-point shooters, but I would rather take that than a lob to Capella. That's 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
Right there.
Right. And that's where Reggie Bullock, if you rather take that lob, if you rather take away the lob, at this point, Reggie Bullock, step over in here. Right? Instead of being where he has, step over in here. Right there. It takes that lob away, but now he's got to be able to get back out to the shooter. So he's just got to bust his butt to get out to the shooter. But
on this one.
On this one, right. But like you said, this is going to be 100% right here. This lob is probably going to be 100%. This is, while he's a good shooter, it's still going to be 35 to 40%. At some point.
And on that first one, Sim, on that first one, they should have played Capella and gave the shot to Collins. If you had to pick one person to take the shot, let it be Collins.
Let it be Collins. That was on that first one.
Yes.
And we can go back to that first one and move it along as well. That's exactly what you would want to do, right? Give to Collins. You don't want to give up that, give up such an easy boom right here. Force him to kick it out. But that stab, Nerlens Noel should have just
took him out of position. Yeah.
Took him out of position. That stab, he should have just stayed with Clint Capella, forced him to kick it here. We'll take that. I'll take that every time, because Julius Randle has enough time to get back out to him and contest the shot. So
but
the Knicks,
Okay, finish. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, the Knicks are, Tom Thibodeau, the coaching staff, I'm pretty sure, they're going to come up with some good defensive schemes, to defend that pick and roll, and they got a week to practice them.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I want to see if you guys have noticed. I believe Trae can dribble with both his hands. He can do, but is he really right hand dominant? Is there a way that we can force him more to his left side so that the pick and roll isn't as easy? The same thing with Capella. If we're forcing Trae to the left side, maybe the pick and roll is not as fluid as it is on those two the plays that you just drew up. Because I saw both of the plays where he was dribbling both with his right hand, and they were just very simple plays. Maybe just trying to force him to his left hand. And I'm pretty sure if we do try to force him to his left hand, he's going to try to get those fouls called. But, try some things like that. I'm pretty sure they have thought about all that stuff, but I'm just looking at it and just trying to read it and see if there's anything I could point out. Right. We can do better, man.
Right. The thing is, is he, how strong is he with his left hand? I assume that he's probably strong with his left hand as well. We'll see if Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks, if they spot any little weakness where they can attack that screen and roll.
Again, he's up till 3:00 in the morning, so he's thinking something.
Exactly.
And they got two thick books. They got two thick books on Atlanta. So
right.
I'm pretty sure they got multiple ways to play that pick and roll.
Yeah. And having quickly in practice probably helps him out a lot, because although he's not as good at finding the roller or shooters off the screen and roll. He's about the same size. He has the ability to draw fouls. So he can, if they use him as if he's Trae Young and have him come off the screen, and have, you probably having Norvell Pell or somebody be Clint Capella, and, they practice. This is exactly how we're going to defend it. This is exactly what we're going to do.
I'm just so happy that our young guys are in the playoffs. I really am, because I think it's going to really booster their confidence and them getting the experience going into next year. I think they're going to, come back like like really good, really good. It's good that they're in the playoffs this year. Him and Quickly and Obi and Frank and Knox and all of them, all young.
And Randall and
Randall.
Yeah, all of them.
Randall too. Yeah, all of them. But I was like looking more at our real young, players like Obi and Quickly, because whenever we ever had our rookies actually in the playoff mix, never. We've never, since
we haven't been there.
Yeah, we haven't been there.
Right.
We haven't been there. So
exactly.
It's
been there in 8 years.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Big shout out to Chester Chetnick. He said, my lady and I are going on Sunday. He was gifted 2 tickets, and I'm going to rock my NBK t-shirt. Go do it, Chester. Do it, Chester.
Absolutely.
He's got a beautiful record. The Knicks have a beautiful record when he's rocking his NBK shirts, man. So go ahead and do it. Get it done.
So if I get a ticket, I shouldn't go, right?
If you get a ticket.
Right, if I get a ticket.
No.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Don't go. You're bad luck, man. You are bad luck. You stop the winning streak, Kev.
You over there in Atlanta, huh?
Kev is like Slap Rock, but do not go anywhere close to MSG. No.
Kev,
I actually would like to go to the Atlanta stadium to see if we can jinx Atlanta. We get a couple of wins.
Something. You stop the winning streak. We were all good. 9-game winning streak. Kev didn't go to any of those games. Kev goes to a game, we lose. That's what happens.
Steph, you sure I can't go with you?
No.
That's what happens.
And how about I actually had an extra ticket because I couldn't find anybody because I thought the game was late, and now it's at 7:00. So I would have had an extra ticket actually.
Yeah. And by the way,
I would, man, you don't know how much I would love to be in a playoff. Nick, I've never been to a playoff game. I've been to a couple of Knicks games. I actually have a story about one of the Knicks games that my brother took me to. We went to go see the Chicago Bulls. I was about maybe 12 years old. Me and my brother took me to go see the game. And we're watching the game, and we see Michael Jordan steal the ball at half court. Right? So he steals the ball at half court, and he's dribbling, and he looks behind him because he's wide open. He sticks his tongue out, right? Because he knows he's going for a ferocious dunk. Looks back, sticks his tongue out, goes for the dunk, back rims it, misses the dunk. Me and my brother get up. Oh, he gets up all like this, and he fainted. He fainted. I looked at him on the floor. I say, my brother's name is Roy, and I say, yo, Roy, how you doing? And he wakes up quickly, and he goes, oh, I couldn't believe Michael Jordan missed the dunk. It was awesome, man. One of my favorite times as a going to a Knicks game, man.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Big shout out to Quiet Money. He said, how come nobody on the panel was talking about how Capella has been shut down in multiple playoff series? It was to the point where they couldn't even play him.
Really?
I mean, we haven't gotten to Atlanta weaknesses yet. I got a lot to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was those series. This is now. And you got a different point guard. A point guard that, has superior vision. Hey, I'm not saying he can't be shut down. Maybe he can, but, just looking at what they've done during the regular season, he's going to be a monster to deal with, I think. He's a rebounding machine, and we've really got to pay attention to those offensive rebounds, I think. Really got to pay attention to it. We need our guards, R.J. Barrett, Reggie Bullock, Derrick Rose, Alfred Payton, Emmanuel Quickly. We need all of those guys to help hit the boards. We cannot give them second chance shots. We don't get fast break points anyway. Right. We need to send our guards to the boards. We need all 5 players on the defensive boards, get the rebound, and then we get out and go whichever way we have to do it. So if that means we're playing a slower basketball game, so be it. Then we play a slower basketball game. But we cannot let Clint Capella dominate the offensive glass. We cannot let them do it. We got to have our guards pinching in and helping out on the boards. And we got guards that can rebound.
Yep.
We got guards that can rebound. So, Steph, you said you had some things, some weaknesses that you'd like to talk about with Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think this, it's not all mine. I got it from an article. So,
hey,
I
that's all good.
I wish I could take credit for it. But the reason why a lot of people have the Knicks winning, and by that I mean the media and even Atlanta media has concern, is one, when Capella goes out the game, they're concerned that he's going to get into early foul trouble. And that if he goes out the game, they got Gallinari and Collins backing him up. And defensively, that's terrible as far as what they're saying. Second, they're concerned about the bench, that they can't defend. Like Gallinari and whoever else is on that second team, they can shoot, but they cannot defend. And so they're worried about the bench giving up a lot of points to the Knicks, right? So they have concerns about that. I think there's also concerns about who's backing up Trae Young when he goes out the game, and how they're going to cover Randall. They're thinking of putting Hunter on him, but Hunter just came back. He's only been back 3 games off of an injury, a patella meniscus, partial meniscus tear. He's been back about 3 games or so. He was their ace in the hole because of his defensive versatility. He can guard a point guard, a off guard, a small forward. So they're concerned about him and whether he'll be up to the task of guarding Randall. They don't believe Collins can guard him. So every team has concerns. We're concerned about their shooting, but they're concerned about us as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're concerned about us because Julius Randle, he's averaged 37 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists against the Hawks this season, and they don't have an answer for Julius Randle. John Collins can't guard him. They don't have an answer for him, and they haven't double teamed him this season while they're playing. We'll see if they turn to a double team in the playoffs, but they didn't do it throughout the season.
And the thing also with our bench, we have people on our their second team can shoot. I'm not arguing that, but shooters get cold, right? I mean, it happens. You get wide open shots and you miss. One thing about the people on our second team, the players, they can get their own shots. They can't not just shoot, but Rose and Burke can create their own shots as well.
Exactly.
And that bodes well, especially in the playoffs when things tend to slow down. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Knicks and 6, if you ask me.
Knicks and 6, man. That's where I am. Knicks and 6. Just a quick update, and I'm sure everybody already knows. The Washington Wizards, they obliterated the Indiana Pacers 142-115. They'll be playing against the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round. I don't know if I give them much of a chance against the Sixers. I thought that they had a better chance that they would have played Boston. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook can, get some things going. I tend to think that the Sixers will, Washington, I give Washington 1, maybe 2. I'm going to say maybe it's a gentleman's sweep, though. Unless they can get hot. I don't know. But, yeah, Washington 1. And right now, the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies are entangled in a battle on ESPN. At least I thought they were.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow. Okay. That's tomorrow. My bad. I thought that was tonight at 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, if I would have said that, I would have gotten a smart mark from G-Man. Now you don't get nothing.
Well, that's because mine are far and few in between. Yours are like,
every 5 minutes. Literally every 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, so
every 5
just saying. I mean, I was. Let's put it like this. I decided not to do it. But earlier, when Eddie, said, I kept my mic off because I didn't know if there was going to be any noise in the background. I was like, yeah, some people just keep their mic on with the TV going in the background and we can hear it all in the this, that, and the third,
Here y'all.
Every day, all day. Every time. Guaranteed.
Y'all ain't right. Both y'all ain't right, man.
I mean, it's true.
Shut up, Jabba Jaws.
I'm just saying. It's the truth. But to your point, Sam, and to kind of caveat on what Steph said, Josh had a good point as well. When you talk about the guards needing to crash the boards and everybody needs to have an active role in trying to rebound. To Josh's point, he talked about what we were talking about Capella. We need to clog up the paint and keep them out of the paint. Force them to shoot those long threes. So that will force, when you miss a shot, that's a long rebound. That gives the guard a better opportunity to get the rebound and push the ball the other way and kind of alleviate those second chance opportunities. And I always talk about fundamental basketball, right? The way the Knicks win this game will be to limit the Hawks' possessions. So don't give them the second and third chances on the offensive side of the board. Get the rebounds. Don't turn the ball over, for heaven's sake. Let's limit turnovers. And if you're lucky enough to get to the stripe, make those shots. And I think R.J. Barrett is going to be critical in this in the first game and his ability to drive to the paint. And hopefully somebody calls fouls when he actually gets fouled. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people don't do this more often when it comes to Trae Young, posting him up. Like, we can post him up, I think, perfectly with Elfrid Payton. We could post him up with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose could shoot right over him. Even Ntilikina could post him up. I don't know why people don't go to that more. Is it because the game is different now? Is it a lot of things? But to me, that just seems like you tire him down by posting him up. You probably can get some foul calls by posting him up. I know maybe it's like boring offense, but I mean, it's right there for the taking. I mean, he's like 6 foot, 6'1". Elfrid Payton is 6'4". You know what I mean? But Rose is 6'3". Ntilikina is 6'5". All of our guards are way bigger than him.
But does Payton have post moves? I mean, like, so you have some guards who do have post moves. You can put them in a post on a smaller defender, and they can actually execute post moves. Do those guys have post moves? And can they play in the post? I think that's the question.
Yeah, I feel you. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know because I don't feel like it's that hard. Like a guy like Elfrid Payton, all he has to do is just back him up one time and maybe dribble into the middle of the lane and shoot the little shot that he always shoots when he does the same move, going around and just a little push shot. But I do understand what you're saying because R.J. Barrett could do that a lot, and we don't see R.J. Barrett posting up. I mean, these guys are pros. They should know how to do this stuff, Sam. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. But executing it sometimes, can be tough. If you're out of position and you get down there and, in practice, you can do it. But then when you actually get in the game, you're like, okay, what am I going to do now? You get a little bit nervous and stuff like that. I did want to ask you guys a question. How'd you feel about Nick McMillan and some of the comments that he made? And he got fined, what was it, $25,000 or whatever for making these comments.
You want the bull, you get the horns.
This is what he said. He said, absolutely. He said, absolutely. I've talked about this team a lot. Basically, I've gone as far as saying the league wants this. They need this. They need this. New York, this is a big market for the league, and New York has been out of the playoffs for a number of years. And this is a team that our league, they want to see, there's a huge fan base, and they want to see New York in the playoffs. The leagues want to see it. Everybody wants to see it. Even to the fact that our opening game was moved to Sunday. They want to see this. He said, so yes, we have talked about that, I think, with his team, and about the advantages of this situation and some things that we're going to have to face going into game one. So what are some of those things they're going to have to face going into game one? With everyone picking New York to win and a lot of folks wanting to see New York in the playoffs. It's a battle. It's a challenge. Just playing New York, all that comes with it. So to me, when he says that he's talked about it with the team, and again, like I said, we can hear Kev's all the background conversations going on.
Of course you can.
Right? But to me, what he's saying to his team is the things that we're going to face, the referees wanting, maybe the league telling the referees, hey, slant everything towards the Knicks. The media, the fans, everybody basically is trying to build that me against the world attitude and kind of instill that into the team, thinking that everyone's going to be against the Hawks because they want the Knicks in the playoffs.
Right.
Kind of a motivational tactic. I don't have a problem with him telling his team that. I would tell my team something like that. They want them in here. Well, you know what? We're going to shut them all up. I would definitely tell my team that. I wouldn't say it to the media, though. Wouldn't say it to the media. I think that was a mistake. G-Man, what do you think?
I agree, Sam, 100%. Right. Some things are better left said or better left kept in the locker room amongst the team. I mean, that if that's a motivation tool you use as a coach to get your team riled up, the me against the world persona, then that's great. But you have to remember when you go out and you in front of all these cameras and microphones, once something leave your lips, you can't take it back. And then what you do is you leave it up to someone else's interpretation. So it could be, in his mind, it may be something as simple as saying, hey, this is how I'm motivating my team or whatever the case would be. But somebody else just takes that a totally different way and says like, okay, now what you're insinuating is that we got the fix in. Now we're talking about buying off refs and slanting things to favor the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be real careful with that. Real careful.
Careful with it.
It wasn't that big a deal just looking at it at face value. But when you start digging into things, you can come up with any type of hyperbole that you want to based on what someone says to fit whatever narrative that you have going on. So, yeah, you just got to be smarter than that if you're a head coach.
Yeah, you got to be smarter than that. Steph, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually had a different take on it. I felt like he was coming from a place of feeling like he was the underdog, right? Tibbs ain't saying nothing like that because Tibbs already knows what he has, So I just feel like for him to say that, he's coming at it from a place that we are the underdogs and that maybe we're not as good as them and we need that edge. Whereas a lot of people think this is an even series, So I don't even think he needed to say that. So I don't know. It just seemed like mentally, I guess, maybe he's trying to get the edge for his team, but to me, it felt like mentally, you don't even need that.
Yeah.
Just play. Y'all should be mentally ready for the Knicks.
If you want the bull, you're gonna get the horns.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just, when I heard that, I was like, Nate said that? Like he's trying to get an edge? Like, does he need that?
Yeah. Andre Bryant said he put it in the public to put a warning to the refs. Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, what he says, I guess the reason why he got fined is because what he says kind of sounds like the league is colluding to keep New York in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like when he says they want them here. So I talked to my team about that situation and what they could be facing. It sounds like he's saying the league is colluding to keep them guys in the playoffs. So we will, Diehard Knicks said the Knicks haven't gotten a call since the LJ 4-point play. Just play ball. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, man. I feel you.
I don't believe any of that stuff. Like, if that was the case, why didn't the Knicks get the first round pick when Zion was available? Why did it go to New Orleans? It's like people always say things like that, and like referees tend to play to certain sides. I don't believe any of that stuff, man. I don't believe that the refs plan on calling calls a certain way. Sometimes they just make bad calls, against the Knicks, for the Knicks, whoever's playing on whichever teams, I don't believe any of that stuff at all. Like, it's great for the league that the Knicks are in, Yes, there's no doubt about it. It's great for the league that the Lakers are playing well. It's great for the league, but that doesn't mean that the league is coercing for that to be like that.
Because you still got to
Right.
play.
We haven't been in the playoffs for 8 years, and we haven't had a first-round pick, a number one pick since Patrick Ewing. So what favors is the league doing for us?
Yeah, well, someone could say, it's all the whole storyline is building up for the Knicks to have the season that they had this year.
Yeah, right.
That's what they would say. That's the storyline. It's written. You can go check the NBA offices in that big vault that they got in the office. That's the storyline. That's what someone might say. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't believe in those conspiracies. I don't believe in it either. I think that, they just play.
Make your own,
I do believe though that rules are sometimes set to favor the players that they want to be on a certain stage. I do believe that. I do believe that, there are things said to the ref, well, you know what, listen, we want to focus on making games more exciting, so we want the game to be offensive, so we're going to change the hand check rule, or we're going to change this or that to speed up the pace of the basketball game, which naturally is going to benefit certain players and certain types of players.
Right.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
You know what, Sam? They also, I read somewhere that they are taking a look at Trae Young and him drawing the fouls and making sure that the refs are on it and only give him the fouls he actually draws and not be so quick to blow the whistle.
Right.
That would help us if that does happen.
Yeah, Brian.
We're going to see a lot of those. We're going to see a lot of those. Either it's one of those swing ones that they won't give you the free throws, or he got fouled before he went up for the shot. There's going to be plenty of those in this series for both teams.
Oh, yeah. And Brahim718 said, the NBA is $1 billion business. You're crazy if you don't think the refs don't play a part of the game. They definitely do. They definitely play a part of the game. And there's always going to be, certain things that are given down to the refs to watch for this or to watch for that. But
will the NBA let us win a championship? That's the main thing.
We got to take it. We got to go take it. We got to take it.
G-Man, am I right? I'm just saying.
Something else.
I'm just saying.
But I'll tell you one thing. What I really am looking forward to is I am really looking forward to a Brooklyn, New York Knicks matchup in the second round.
Oh, the city will be lit.
Like, wow. Like, that would be like,
City will be lit. It will be lit.
And there's going to be a lot of fireworks in a series like that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we, hopefully we handle our business against Atlanta. I don't want to look ahead or anything, but it would just be so beautiful, right? To see us against a team that, Brooklyn never thought that we'd be in the picture. Like they wanted to take over,
and now we look.
They wanted to take over, and now we're like the darlings, the Cinderella story of the NBA. How we just came out and played so well, and the way we've played, the defensive-minded way that we played, which lends itself to the blue-collar people of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to watch.
Yeah. But listen, we wouldn't play Brooklyn in the second round.
It wouldn't be like that?
No.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right.
Finals.
Right. So
then the conference finals then.
Yeah.
That's Gucci too.
Yeah. We'll play Philadelphia or Washington, either one of those teams, because the NBA does not reseed. So once they set the brackets, you play your bracket. Right. So let's say Washington somehow beat Philadelphia.
But we would still have the home court.
Yes. If we played Washington, we would have the home court, not if we played Philadelphia.
Right.
So, well, anyway, listen, tomorrow I'm going to do another breakdown and take a look at some other things that the Nets do that I think we need to pay attention to. The fast break. We don't want to let them get out on the break. That can definitely hurt us. Watching the way that they or breaking down the way that they get their 3-point shots. A lot of that is also off of the screen and roll. So, we're going to break down and take a look at some of those things tomorrow night. right? And I do have a walkthrough. I have a walkthrough with my team. I wanted to do 8:30 tomorrow night, but I have a walkthrough from 7:30 to 8:30. So I'll be back on about 9:15 tomorrow once again. Right in the middle of...
Are we doing Queen's Court?
Yes.
Or should we push it to next? We are? Okay.
Well, I wanted to do the Queen's Court tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm ready. I just wanted to make sure you were.
Yeah. I wanted to do it. So that's why I scheduled my basketball game. I mean, not game, but walk through at 7:30.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
can't miss my Queen's Court. I can't miss that.
We'll have everything prepared and ready to go. And ready to go. Tomorrow night, Kev, behind the scenes, has promised me that he's gonna, not have anything going on in the background and all that kind of stuff. He promised me, so I'll be looking forward to him to keep that promise.
So don't do it.
Listen, I got to say this. So this is one thing that we need to get, that I need for Sim to have a conversation with Kev, because it's been killing me the whole time you've been on camera. You look like my drunk uncle when you're looking down doing whatever it is that you're doing. I'm going to need you to cut that out, because that gives just a bad look. So I'm going to need you to just don't.
Well, when you shave that, whatever that is on your face, then I'll do that, all right?
Oh, boy.
Don't mess with me. Chump.
Oh, boy. Adam Gatson, thank you for the super chat. He said, you don't think it's fishy the Cavs get the top pick for LeBron, the Bulls jump like crazy to get Rose, Lakers jumped to get a pick for AD, the Cavs get the first after LBJ leaves, and then Zion to the Pelicans after AD. It's rigged. Sometimes the balls just bounce your way. I don't know what to say.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, why? I mean, I guess because LeBron is from Akron. That's why you're saying it would be fishy that the Cavs got the first pick for LeBron. I'm assuming that's, what it is. And then the Bulls jump like crazy and they get Rose so that they can have their hometown heroes there. I mean, I get it. Okay, I understand. So basically what you're telling me is the NBA is the WWE now. It's the WWE, right? You got Vince McMahon back there scripting it all up, and they say, okay, this how it's gonna go. This is what we're gonna do.
Come on, people.
Is that? I mean, I don't. Goodness. They got script writers. Maybe. I don't know. You know what? I don't even care. I'm enjoying the NBA, so I don't care.
There you go.
I don't care. Have you guys seen? Just see this guy. See Adam. Adam just threw me off into a tangent. Have you guys seen the show The Young Rock?
No, I heard about it.
I saw a little bit of it. I saw an episode or two.
It's funny because I'm actually enjoying it because I really used to watch wrestling when I was little, and the show goes behind the scenes with Randy Macho. Not behind the scenes. It talks about The Rock, him growing up with his dad being a pro wrestler, right? Rocky Johnson. And, their relationships with Randy Macho Man Savage, Andre the Giant, Junkyard Dog, all of them. So for me, it's like really interesting. I'm like, oh, this is, it's really cool because I was deep into wrestling back
Me
then.
too.
You know what I mean? Deep into wrestling back then. And so to see some of the behind the scenes and how they were so cool and friends and The Rock, like so much stuff surrounded The Rock and his family, it's really cool.
Well, that was G-Man's alter ego, the Junkyard Dog. That was him back then. That was him. He just time warped, He just time warped.
Yeah, it's pretty good, though. It's pretty good. But, Adam just kind of threw me off into a tangent. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was my favorite wrestler right there.
Yeah.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka. That was my guy. I used to love Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
I was the generation after that one. So my favorite wrestler was the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, I used to like the Ultimate Warrior, too.
The Andre the Giants, the early Hulk Hogan. Those are like a generation before it. I was in the Ultimate Warrior stage and the Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior being my favorite of all time, man.
I was a Ricky Steamboat guy.
I like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat,
really?
too.
That was me.
I really like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Man, really?
Yeah, that was my guy. It was cool. Yeah. But anyway, tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 9:15. So please make sure you join us. We're gonna break down some more film on how the Knicks and what the Knicks need to do to beat the Atlanta Hawks. So please make sure that you join us tomorrow. And I don't know, I'm ready to jump up out of here. Any last words for the night, Steph? I'll start with you.
Like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to the Knicks playoff game. I'm gonna be in the building. It's gonna be crazy in there, and I just don't see us losing this game. I mean, maybe I'm one of them delusional fans. I just don't see us losing this game. I'm not saying Atlanta doesn't have a chance, but the Knicks are going to be ready. The Garden is going to be on fire. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Eddie C.
I just can't wait for Sunday, man. All I can say, I mean, I don't really have any last words. All I can say is go New York, go New York, go.
There you go. There you go. G-Man.
I concur with what both Steph and Eddie said. You know, like I said today on the Entertainers Pod, when you guys were up there doing your thing, you know, I miss Knicks basketball right now. And, you know, Sunday can't get here fast enough. I'm just ready for the game, and I'm with Steph. I think we get game one, bottom line up front.
All right. And
Lord.
I'm not saying all of that, AKA this guy and that guy. Cornerstone Kev.
Oh, my God.
Again, salute to the chat. Salute to everybody on the panel except for G-Man. I think G-Man's camera probably broke because of his face and everything. I mean, people went around saying black is beautiful, and they took a look at him and said, hold everything. So that's pretty much, you know, what happened. But yeah, let's go Knicks. I'm unfortunately I have to agree with G-Man. I miss Knicks basketball, and Sunday can't come any sooner. And the Garden's going to be lit on Sunday. It's going to be lit Sunday night. It's going to be lit. So let's get it going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Anyway, man, I am up out of here. Adam Gadsden says, Sim, I can't wait until we overanalyze game one. Yeah, you know, look, if the Knicks blow them out, they'll be they'll be champions for the next 3 years in a row. If we lose or get blown out, you know, we're back in the doldrums. You know how Knicks fans go. You know how Knicks fans do, but yeah. But anyway, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Make sure you check me out tomorrow, 9:15. I know you're going to be watching that Golden State Warriors and Memphis Grizzlies game, but check me out anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Check me out anyway. Be peaceful, and I will see you guys tomorrow as we break down more and more film. Let's get out of here.